The Ponzi scheme is a type of financial fraud that is still being used today by fraudsters who want to exploit the greed of investors. Charles Ponzi's story provides some valuable lessons that can help investors protect themselves from similar schemes in the future. In this article, we will explore how Ponzi defrauded the United States of America, the impact of his scheme, and the lessons that can be learned from his story. Charles Ponzi was born in Lugo, Italy, in 1882. He immigrated to the United States in 1903 and quickly realized that he could make a fortune by exploiting the greed of his fellow citizens. In 1919, he started a company called the Securities Exchange Company, which promised investors a 50% return on their investment in just 90 days. The scheme was simple. Ponzi would use the money from new investors to pay off the returns of older investors. He claimed that he was exploiting an arbitrage opportunity in the international postal reply coupon market, but in reality, he was just using new investors' money to pay off old investors. The scheme worked brilliantly, and word quickly spread about the incredible returns that Ponzi was offering. People from all over the United States began to invest their life savings in the Securities Exchange Company, and Ponzi became a millionaire almost overnight. However, it was not long before the authorities started to take notice of Ponzi's activities. In August 1920, the Boston Post newspaper published an article exposing the Securities Exchange Company as a fraud. The article was written by a reporter named Clarence Barron, who had been investigating Ponzi's scheme for several weeks. Barron's article revealed that Ponzi's claims about the postal reply coupon market were completely false, and that the returns he was paying to investors were being funded by new investors' money. The article caused a panic among investors, and thousands of people rushed to withdraw their money from the Securities Exchange Company. Ponzi's scheme quickly unraveled, and he was forced to declare bankruptcy in November 1920. By that time, he had defrauded investors of an estimated $20 million, which would be equivalent to over $250 million in today's money. Ponzi was arrested and charged with fraud, but he managed to escape from jail and flee to Florida. He was later caught and extradited back to Massachusetts, where he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. After serving his sentence, he was deported to Italy, where he died in poverty in 1949. The impact of Ponzi's scheme was devastating for the thousands of people who invested in the Securities Exchange Company. Many of them lost their life savings, and some were left destitute. The scheme also damaged the reputation of the financial industry and eroded public trust in the government's ability to regulate it. The Securities Exchange Company's collapse had wider implications for the American economy as well. The scheme had caused a credit crunch, and many banks and businesses had to close their doors as a result. The collapse of the Securities Exchange Company was one of the factors that contributed to the stock market crash of 1929 and the Great Depression that followed. Ponzi's story provides some valuable lessons that can help investors protect themselves from similar schemes in the future. The first lesson is to be skeptical of investment opportunities that promise high returns with little or no risk. As the old saying goes, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Investors should always do their due diligence and research the investment opportunity thoroughly before investing their money. The second lesson is to be wary of investment opportunities that rely heavily on recruiting new investors to fund returns to existing investors. This is a hallmark of a Ponzi scheme and should be a red flag for investors. The third lesson is to diversify your investments. By spreading your investments across different asset classes, industries, and geographies, you can reduce the risk of losing all your money if one investment goes sour. Diversification is a proven strategy for reducing investment risk and is recommended by financial experts. The fourth lesson is to work with a reputable financial advisor who is licensed and regulated by the appropriate authorities. A good financial advisor can help you navigate the complex world of investing and provide valuable advice on how to protect your assets. They can also help you identify potential risks and opportunities and develop a customized investment strategy that aligns with your financial goals and risk tolerance. Another lesson from Ponzi's story is the importance of government regulation and oversight of the financial industry. Ponzi's scheme was able to operate for as long as it did because of a lack of regulation and oversight. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, was established in the wake of the Great Depression to protect investors and maintain the integrity of the financial markets. The SEC is responsible for enforcing federal securities laws and regulating the securities industry, including investment advisors and brokers. By working with a financial advisor who is registered with the SEC or a state securities regulator, investors can be confident that they are working with a reputable professional who is subject to rigorous regulatory oversight. Finally, investors should be aware of the warning signs of financial fraud and be vigilant about protecting their assets. Some common warning signs of financial fraud include unsolicited investment offers, promises of guaranteed returns, pressure to invest quickly, and claims of insider knowledge or special access to investment opportunities. If something seems too good to be true or you feel uncomfortable about an investment opportunity, it's important to trust your instincts and do your due diligence before investing. In conclusion, Charles Ponzi's scheme was one of the most infamous financial frauds in history. His charm, wit, and cunning allowed him to defraud thousands of people in the United States and leave a lasting impact on the American economy. However, his story also provides valuable lessons for investors to protect themselves from similar schemes in the future. By being skeptical, diversifying their investments, working with reputable financial advisors, and being vigilant about potential warning signs of financial fraud, investors can reduce their risk of falling victim to financial fraud. Additionally, government regulation and oversight of the financial industry is crucial in maintaining the integrity of the financial markets and protecting investors from fraudsters like Charles Ponzi.